Hey guys, I'm glad you're able to find this. Today we're going to be talking about cubes and volume. So, when we did Pythagorean theorem, we talked about squares, which usually were shown as a number, which I'm representing with x, and a small exponent of a 2. Well, now we're going to be looking at cubed, which is a number represented here as an x and a 3. So remember, squared meant x times x. Cubed is very similar. It's going to be x times x times x. So remember, whatever that exponent is, that's how many times your number is going to appear, and it's going to be multiplied together. So the reason why this is important, especially when it comes to volume, is if you have a cube, that say has 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters, and a height of 3 centimeters. To find out the volume, what you do is you find out the area of one side. Usually we call it the base side, which is the base shape. So for a rectangular prism or square, it doesn't matter as much. But for a triangular prism or cylinder, we're going to find out the area of either the circle or the triangle. So for this one, let us say we're going to find out the area of the top, which remember is the same as the bottom. So the area is going to be 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. And then what we have to do is times it by the height. So in the case of a cube, all 3 measurements are the same. So it is literally the number cubed. In this case, it's 3 to the power of 3. 3 times 3 times 3, which gives us 27. And because we've multiplied centimeters by centimeters by centimeters, it's going to be centimeters cubed. Just like how we had square and square root, we actually have an opposite function, which is called cube root. So we had square root, now we have cube root. So remember, square root was just like this. Cube root looks the same, except on the outside there's a tiny little 3. So when we're trying to determine a cube root, we can actually use some of the same techniques as we did when we're looking for the square root. So say we are looking for the cube root of 27. One of the methods we can use is to find the prime factorization. So 27, what are 2 numbers that multiply together to get 27? Well, we have 3 and we have 9. 3 is a prime number, so that's as far as we can go. 9 is 3 times 3. So with the square root, we had to divide this into 2 equal groups. When we're looking at a cube root, we have to divide it into 3 equal groups. So in this case, the prime factorization is 27 equals 3 times 3 times 3. Well, this is already in 3 separate equal groups. So this is a perfect cube. There will be numbers that are bigger that you may have to work a bit more at. Say 512. I know some of you have a fondness of just dividing by 2, and that's perfectly fine. So if we do 2, this number would be 256. 2 is a prime number. We can't go any further, but we can here. Again, we could just do it by 2 and 128. 270, nope, 64. 2 and 32. 4 and 8. Oop, don't need that square. 4 is not a prime number. Comes 2 and 2, which are prime numbers. 2 and 4. And then this one breaks down to 2 and 2. So let's see what we have. 512 equals 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and we have 2 more 2's. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So again, this one I'm going to have 3 even groups. So 512 is equal to 2 times 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 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, so it's 8 times 8 times 8, which gives us 512. So this helps you if you're given a cube and you're told that the entire volume is 8 meters cubed, and you're asked to find the side length. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find the cube root of 8. Because if this is a cube, then all 3 measurements are going to be the same. So 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. So that means it's 2 times 2 times 2, which means that our lengths are going to be 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters. If you're giving a rectangular prism that does not have, that's a rectangular prism and not a cube. Say the height is 8 meters, this length is 10 meters, and we have this as 20 meters. What you're going to do is you're going to choose one side to figure out the area of. So like I said, we usually call it the base, but it doesn't really matter what side for a rectangular prism. So we'll do the front. So we're going to find the area of that, and then we're going to multiply by the other measurement. In this case, it's going to be the length or width. So we have 10 times 8 times 20. So the 10 times 8 gives us 80 times 20. That gives us 1,600 meters cubed. So now, if we're given a triangular prism, like I said, you want to find the area of the base shape. So if this is a triangular prism, we want to find the area of the triangle. So the height of the triangle is going to be 4 meters. This distance is going to be 10 meters, and this distance I'm going to put as 20 meters. So first we have to find the area of the triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. So 4 times 10 divided by 2, which gives me 40 divided by 2, which is 20 meters squared. And now I'm going to take this measurement and I'm going to multiply it by this one. So 20 meters squared times 20 meters gives me 400 meters cubed. So in the same way, you might be given on one of your questions, I do believe you're given the a table. You're given the base in centimeters. You're given the height of triangle in centimeters, and you're given height of prism. In centimeters, and the last one is volume in centimeters cubed. For all of them, you're actually given the volume, but then you're missing one of the other measurements. So say we had something like, even if we took something that was like our last example, and we were given that we had 400 centimeters cubed, and we knew that the base was 10 centimeters, and the height was 4. We don't have to write centimeters since we already have it in our label. Okay, so how would we determine the height of the prism? Well, we know that the volume is going to be the base times the height of the triangle divided by 2, and we're going to times it by the height of the prism. So HT I'm putting for height of the triangle. This we are doing height of prism. So there are a couple ways you can do this. First, you can rearrange, because that's what we did, remember, near the beginning of the semester. Or you can do it stepwise. So we have the measurements to do all of this. So if we put that part in, we have 400 is equal to the base 10 times 4 divided by 2 times HP. That's our one thing we don't know. So let's see what we get. Our 400, remember, do your line. Our 400 doesn't change because we have nothing to do yet. 10 times 4 is our 40 divided by 2 times HP. 40 divided by 2 gives us 20 times HP. So now we want to isolate this by itself. So how do we do that? This is going back to what we did before. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. We do it to one side, we do it to both. 20 divided by 20 gives us 1, so we don't have to worry about it. Now 400 divided by 20 gives us 20. So the height of the prism is 20 centimeters. And if you look at that first example, we were given 4, 10, and 20. So we do know that that's right. If you're given the height of it, and you're given the base, but you're not given the height of the triangle, that proves a little more difficult. So let's say this is 200 centimeters cubed with a base of 20 and a height of the prism of 10. So again, the first thing we do is we write it out. Let's choose a different color so we can tell the difference. Okay. So it's base times height of the triangle divided by 2 times the height of the prism. We know this is 200. We know the base is 20. But this time we don't know what HT is. And this one's 10. So 20 divided by 2 that gives me 10. So 200 stays on that side. We have 10 times 10. Because remember, because this is times and this is times, we can rearrange that order. 10 times 10 times HT. 10 times 10, that is 100 HT. The 200 still hasn't been touched. Now again, we want to get HT by itself. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So what we do to one side, we do to both. 200 divided by 100 gives us 2, is the height of the triangle. So your assignment for today is on 2 sets of pages. So it's page 75, numbers 1, 9, 13, page 83, numbers 1, 3, and 11. And then don't forget there's a surface area quiz in the folder on the Google Drive. It is only 3 questions long. So if you go to my website, go to Math 8, then go down to right above the calendar where it says click here for notes, assignments, and worksheets. Click there, go to this, it'll be in the volume folder, and it'll say lesson 1, cubes and volume of prisms and surface area quiz. If you double click on that, there is a document in there that is called the quiz. It's just a quick 3-question thing like before. You don't need to print it. All you need to do is copy the question out onto a separate piece of paper. Do watch out, there are 2 pages. There's 2 questions on the first page, 1 question on the second page. And then page 75 has to do with cubes. Page 85 has to do with triangular prisms. If you need any help, I will be Zooming on Wednesday at 9 a.m. And I hope you guys have a great week.